Muskogee. Creek Indians are not Creek Indians. They are the people who lived along the rivers and creeks in the southeastern woodlands. As was often the case, the name was shortened to Creek because of language barriers. The Muskogee were a loose group of tribes living in the southeast from Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. They mostly lived along the rivers in villages they built in valleys built over centuries of erosion. Before Europeans killed most of them by disease and war, then stole their land, they inhabited the southeast woodlands for centuries. The Muskogee all shared the same language, but each sub-tribe developed their own particular dialect and culture. The Yuchi, Coasati, Alabama, Coosa, Tuskegee, Coweta, Cuseta, Cheha, Hitchiti, Takabachi, Okfuskee, and many others were all Muskogee peoples. They all defended their territory, but had relatively few wars. They farmed, hunted, and when Europeans arrived, the Muskogee were described as the most civilized of all the Native Americans. I knew none of this growing up in Atlanta in the 1960s. I had little reason to think of Native Americans at all, except the few chapters I read in school history books, occasional mentions of the Cherokee, Indians on television, and learning about the Trail of Tears in school. Both sides of my family claimed to have Indian blood. My grandparents on both sides did have classic Indian features, but nothing was confirmed with any of our DNA tests. There were fires over the years, so birth records no longer exist. Even if there is Indian blood in our family, it is far more likely that blood would have originated from the Muskogee and not the Cherokee, as I heard in the stories from when I was a kid. The Cherokee only came to this area after the American government had the Muskogee removed because they supported the British in the Revolutionary War, and because later gold was discovered on their land. We will probably never know unless future genome testing makes targeting a lot more precise than it is now. But I think I speak for all of us, that we wanted to feel a connection to the land that goes back far past Jonas Edge, who migrated to Lumpkin County in 1831. Paleo-Indians were in the southeast 12,000 years before the Muskogee, so it is entirely possible my ancestors walked across the Arctic land bridge at some point. In that case, all the tribes may have originated in Europe after walking out of Africa. The old man sitting in the chair across from me is smiling, knowingly. He blows a smoke ring sometimes after lighting his pipe. Onawa, his granddaughter, is also here, sitting cross-legged on the floor. Neither of them speak, but they wait patiently for me to tell more of their story.